the league. We have some good players, but they're second-tier type players.
Well, we all know that the Bruins are a defensive team, so your forwards aren't going to be your 30-point scorers. And you know that. Mm. Anyway, so let's move on now. That was a good Bruins wrap-up and look ahead towards January and everything. Now let's talk about the Celtics. We have not talked about these guys a lot. Lockout's finally over. So are you happy about the lockout being over?
Does anyone really care? Let's throw that out there. You got the Bruins and you got the Patriots. Does anyone really care?
I've been saying that as a joke, but you have to look at this Celtics team. I think this lockout worked perfectly for them. You can't deny that.
I can agree with the age.
Old legs, old guys just going out there, coughing up a lung, like barely surviving on the court. But now you're playing a significantly less schedule. And we all know how the Celtics play in the postseason, extending out series, going to game 6s and 7s. Those extra games are going to add up. And this is perfect.
I agree. This does help them where they're, let's call them a veteran team, retirement home type team. They're old. They're rugged, their legs aren't there.
Yeah. So what are we expecting? Are we expecting to see the Celtics that swept the Knicks 4-0 in the first round, or are we expecting the Celtics that lost to the Heat like 4-1 or not? I think 4-1 in the series.
I think it's hard to predict because I haven't seen them in so long.
Me too. It's really hard to remember what it's been. It hasn't been since late May. Late April, early May.
I think they're going to come. They're going to battle it out. They're going to be one of the better teams, but they're not going to be a top-notch team. My question is, what's going on with Rajon Rondo right now?
I don't understand why you would want to trade him, except for the reason that his shoulder may be messed up from when he got hurt against the Heat. That could be your only question mark, but the fact that Chris Paul is saying that he doesn't want to play on the Celtics, why would you not want to? And I just saw what you had up. Yeah. So now he wants to... Where does he want to go?
Plan on trade. It just says that he doesn't plan on trading Rondo.
No, but look on the top there. Chris Paul wants to be on the Knicks with Dwight Howard. This league... So this is where I'll say this league is getting outrageous. I know that the Celtics they traded... They didn't sign... They started the trading trend of getting a group of guys together. And now you see the Knicks doing it with Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony, and don't mention the god-awful Heat, who pissed me off beyond a veil.
But my question is, why would you trade... he's the future of your team.
Rondo?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's why it's confusing for me. Why do you need to get a big player for a big... Why do you do a blockbuster trade if you are relying on a guy who gets... when he was good, awesome 20 assists in a game.
If you're going to trade someone, you got to do something like you trade a Paul Pierce or even a Garnett, and you get a few players in return to try and rebuild. Because if you're looking at the here and now... All right, you might be able to put a run together this year, but how much longer are you going to be able to keep doing that until the players just run out of fuel, they retire, they're done?
Pierce is Mr. Boston. He's never going to be traded. If anything, it'd be
Kevin Garnett
or Allen, who are both, I think, in their final years of their contract.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. So we're going to have to see how this team does. I don't know. We got to see how it starts, and the season starts on Christmas.
I believe it's December 25th, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting strategy by the NBA. So, I think the biggest concern for this team out of everything going on, and it's been the concern for the past 2 years, who is your center and main rebounder? Because in the Game 7 they lost to the LA Lakers in the finals, the biggest issue was offensive rebounds. There were so many times in the first quarter where they should have just got the ball right away, marched back. But Lakers were taking 3 or 4 shots every single time they're going down the field. And of course you're going to get a layup eventually if you have a player like Paul Gasol or Andrew Bynum, who looks like Justin Rotundo. And the fact is that, there's going to be someone there to rebound. And if the Celtics don't have that guy, then your team's not going to do well. And that's just the way it is. You have guys who are trying to do fancy moves, just throwing the ball up, usually missing by a mile, and then you have the big guys come in and clean up the mess.
Yep.
That's just how it is. So you need to see these guys. I hate seeing how many rebounds offensively they give up. So we got to see, are these guys going to step up, and where's the heart in this team? We're going to have to see the fired-up Kevin Garnett smashing his head into the padding of the net. That's what we like.
Do you think Kevin Garnett will last, or is his legs going to go, or is he going to go like they did 2 years ago?
I mean, logic would tell you that having the time off would be beneficial.
But is it where's the reverse factor where these guys are sitting on their couch and gaining weight and eating food and where does the John Lackey factor with the fried chicken and all that stuff?
Not every athlete's like Albert Hainsworth trying to walk out. I'm telling you, if you're a professional athlete, you're striving for a championship, because these guys care. You can, the big three, their story and everything. You got guys that just care about the game so much. There's no resting. They're still doing. I don't know if it's allowed. They're probably still doing team meetings and whatnot. So you got to find that motivation. You got to see, are these guys fired up? Biggest question.
Let's wrap that up and let's move on to the Red Sox. A lot has happened in terms of management,
but in reality, nothing's happened.
In reality,
and you were so pissed.
Well, the thing with me is, they went through this circus of a hiring process, which should have never happened. It put the spotlight on us, and it was like a soap opera.
Yep.
And it was almost to the point of pathetic. Other teams, there were like 3 or 4 other main teams that needed managers, and they got them done. The longest took 2 weeks. We're going on a month and a half, 2 months, where we didn't have a manager to when we got a manager. And I don't know why the ownership brought these guys in when they just knew they weren't going to hire them, whether it was for public image or what, but ownership made this decision too. It wasn't Ben Sherrington. It's not your GM that hired Bobby Valentine.
That's why so many people are outraged about this.
Ben Sherrington has no say for the Red Sox for a while now.
Well, now I think it's going to be different. I think he's going to go out and make a signing just because now that you've seen like Lucchino and like Henry like make this move, we need this manager.
Yep.
Pretty much telling no, like we don't want David Cern or whatever the hell his name is. We don't want him, and we need this guy. So I think Boston shows and everyone in the area is taking this way out of context. I feel like it's just you. If you feel like this manager is going to put your guys into shape, both on the field and off, then
that's not the question. That's not the question though. How are these players who have been so nursed by Terry Francona? He's like a father to like Lester, Buchholz, Pedroia.
Of course.
Like those are some of his main guys. He was there through Lester with the whole cancer battle. He has nursed Pedroia, since he was a rookie. And
then why didn't these players act accordingly to him? Why did they eat chicken?
It's like a little kid with his with his parents. Like really,
like becoming a teenager.
Yeah.
So now that the Red Sox think that their balls have dropped, you get a player like Valentine to grab their nuts and tell them, let's get back and win this game, all right?
But how are they going to react? That's the whole thing with me. Do you really think Josh Beckett is going to put up with him? Other players might. Pedroia has a little bit more respect. Lester, some of these players, yeah. But
listen,
I don't see John Lackey or Josh Beckett or any of these kind of guys, putting up with him, because Terry Francona would never put the blame on their players. He would always, John Lackey didn't cover a bag. He would always say, well, John was a little late getting to the bag. But with Bobby Valentine, he's going to call him up. He's going to...
No, yeah, of course. And we all know that Beckett's the biggest prima donna in the whole...
Oh, who has their own personal catcher besides Tim Wakefield for a reason?
Right, for a legitimate reason. So that's your main guy to get back on track. He just signed him to a monster deal. And it's not like these pitchers are bad.
Oh, Beckett's going to go. I can see Beckett going real quick with Sherrington there. If they want to reestablish that clubhouse, they want to make a statement, and they want to get rid of a cancer, they get rid of Beckett. Because Beckett still has value. You can get some good players in return from nothing, special, but some decent, solid players in return from him, and you reestablish that clubhouse.
I was hoping you didn't say Lester for getting rid of the cancer.